The calendar that the Bible scholars use for calculating dates and numbers and features of prophecies were from the stories of creation and the stories of the flood of the book of Genesis. In the story of creation, state that God created the world in 7 days, hence the 7 days of the week. The story of the flood states that the flood started on the 17th day of the second month and abated on the 17th day of the seventh month. That's 5 months. And the flood prevailed 150 days. So 150 days is divided by 5 months equals 30. That's 30 days in a month. And multiplied by 12 months in a year equals 360 days in a year. That is the calendar that was used by scholars of the Bible. A week of 7 days, a month of 30 days, and a year of 360 days. Figures and numbers and dates of the prophecies cannot be taken in face value. It has different meanings. Like a known date of the people that will be saved in the end times as 144,000 that mentioned in the Bible, or the 12,000 from each tribes of the 12 tribes of Israel. There is these figures, numbers, cannot be taken in face value because it's an unfair figure if you consider the populations of the world at 8 billion people and not even close to the population of Israel, the people, the chosen people that God promised to save from all disasters. Their population is at 10 million. So there is a different meaning of 144,000 that will be saved in the end time. Shoghi Finney, the guardian of the Baha'i faith, was asked about this question. What does he think the 144,000 that will be saved in the end time means? And he said the answer lied in the sum of the digits of 144,000. Digits are a number from 1 to 9. And the sum of 144,000 is the sum of 1 plus 4 plus 4 equals 9. Number 9. And there's a group of people that identify themselves with number 9. Those group of people are numbering 10 millions at the moment, and it's growing. Those are the people that will be saved in the end times. Now about the subject of life after death. It's a delicate subject, and it's a difficult subject to explain. If we consider the amount of people that do not believe in life after death, like those who believe in reincarnation, which is divided into 2 divisions. One division's reincarnation believe that we will return in the form of animals as punishment. This is called transmigration. The other division of reincarnation believe that we will return in the form of human beings, but it will be repeated until we become perfect beings. Both division and reincarnation deny the existence of life after death. And we have Christian denominations that believe when we die, we stay in our grave until Christ's return, and we will resurrect from our grave in a physical body, but it is a perfect physical body that won't die. This belief denied existence of life after death. And then we have these individuals, like a known New Zealand theologian named Lloyd Gearing. In an article about his impending lecture at Otago University, it mentioned two of his beliefs. One, he believed that the resurrection of Christ is not a physical resurrection, and I agree with him in that belief. The other is he believed that the human soul is not immortal. I disagree with him in that belief. And there is this a Swiss professor named Dr. Auguste Forel that wrote to Abdu'l-Baha and asked Abdu'l-Baha if he can embrace the Baha'i faith while still entertaining thoughts as the Muni, which believe that the physical brain and the mind are inseparable. So when the physical brain dies, the mind died with it. Abdu'l-Baha revealed a tablet to answer Dr. Auguste Forel's question. This tablet, I commend it to you all to read it. It is a gem full of knowledge. Shoghi Effendi, the guardian of the Baha'i faith, described this tablet of Abdu'l-Baha as the weightiest ever come from the pen of Abdu'l-Baha. And we have these atheists and agnostics that deny the existence of a deity or God, which lead to denying the existence of life after death. These people are numbered in 10 millions, if not hundreds of millions. So it is a very difficult matter or subject to be explained because of so many people that do not believe in life after death. And for such a subject, it requires a clear and succinct explanation. And there's no more clear and succinct explanation out there than from the writings of Baha'u'llah, and beautifully explained by Abdu'l-Baha. Abdu'l-Baha said that the differences of stages in this contingent world is an obstacle to understanding. The minerals, the plants, and the animals are bereft of the mental faculties of man that discover the realities of things. But man himself is able to comprehend all the stages beneath him, for all the superior stages comprehend the inferior, but the inferior cannot understand the superior, nor comprehend its essence. So no matter how much the materials or the mineral evolve, they can never understand or possess the power of growth that the plants possess. No matter how much the plant grow and produce sweet fruit, will never be able to understand or possess the power of the senses that the animal possess. No matter how much we train the animals, let's say we train a monkey, we'll never be able to understand the abstract knowledge of man, that the earth orbits the sun in 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes and a fraction. We'll never understand the abstract knowledge of man, that the earth spins on its axis in 24 hours. We'll never understand the abstract knowledge of man, that the earth tilts 24 degrees and is the cause of the 4 seasons of the earth. But this lack of knowledge of the animals does not prove there is no such thing called life or abstract knowledge that man possesses, only that man is in a superior stage and the animals in an inferior state, and it is impossible for the superior to be understood by the inferior. In the same way we look into life after death, the materialists argue they have never seen life after death. No one has died and go to the next world and come back to tell us all about it. Since we cannot prove it, there's no such thing exist. There's no such thing called life after death. And we answer, the next life is in a superior stage, and the materialist in this life is in an inferior stage. And it is impossible for the superior to be understood by the inferior. There's a great difference between something that is impossible and something that is unknown. Our mobile phone 50 years ago did not exist, but that is what they call an unknown non-existence. It's not an impossible non-existent. An unknown non-existent will eventually become known. An impossible non-existent will never become possible. So for the next life to be understood by the materialist in this life is an impossible scenario. It's not an unknown scenario that one day, after a long period of study and investigation, the materialist will be able to see and understand the next life. There is great wisdom of why we are not shown the next life, explained by Baha'u'llah in his gleanings, which I'm going to paraphrase what he said. He said, the mystery of man's physical death and of his return have not been divulged and still remain unread. By the righteousness of God, were it to be revealed, it would evoke such fear and sorrow that some would perish, and others would fill with so much gladness that they wished to die, and beseech with unceasing longing the one true God, exalted be his glory, to hasten their end. This is the wisdom. I'll use myself here to demonstrate the point. If I was a bad person in this world, and my punishment, so to speak, in the next world is shown to me, it would evoke such fear and sorrow in me that I would perish. And if I was a good person in this world, and my reward in the next life is shown to me, I would be filled with so much gladness that I wish to die. And I beseech with unceasing longing the one true God, exalted be his glory, to hasten my end. I can see myself in such a situation. If you are in that stage, you see this world has no meaning anymore to you, and you don't want to spend a moment dwelling in this dust heap. And I can picture myself in that state that I would beseech God with unceasing longing. Beseeching God with unceasing longing, meaning that you won't stop begging God until what you're begging for is granted to you. I can see if I don't die naturally, I would probably do the deed with my own hands. That is the wisdom of why we're not shown the next life. Abdu'l-Baha explained further that the next world is not a place. Our soul do not descend or enter into the body, for descent and entrance are characteristics of the body, and the spirit or soul is exempt from it. Since we are not enter or descend, there is no need for us or an abiding place for us when we are separated from the body. And he explained further that in this world our movements are free. We can move forward and backward, we can move up and down, we can move left or right, sideways, whichever direction we want. But in the next world, we only progress forward towards the perfections of God. And progress to the perfections of God in the next world is heaven. Not progress is hell. All these new teachings were revealed by His Holiness Baha'u'llah, as peculiar to his revelation, never before brought to humanity in the past. Baha'u'llah revealed an ocean of writings for our development, and it is stored in archives on Mount Carmel, the headquarters of the Baha'i Faith, Mount Carmel, Haifa, Israel. And it is given to us in increments according to the time by the Universal House of Justice, the highest administrative body of the Baha'i Faith that resides on Mount Carmel in Haifa, Israel. And we encourage you to read these writings of Baha'u'llah. It is freely available in the internet. You just go into the Baha'i.org and you should be able to see these writings, and they're free for you to read and study it. Thank you, and I wish you well. Faftailava manuela fa fo manila fa sang samo so